Welcome everyone, and good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from. Um, so I want to actually start off with maybe just a question. And I'm not so sure if you guys can see my screen. Can you confirm if you can see my screen?
I can
Yes, we
see.
can
Yeah,
see it.
we can.
Can you
Yes,
see the
we can.
question? The question on the screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Great. So, um, please answer that question if you can. So the question is, if you won $1 million in a lottery today, what would you do with it? What would you do with that money? So just put your responses in the chat, and we'll be doing that as we wait for more people to join. So if you won $1 million, hi, Tate, Julius, I can see you. If you won $1 million in the lottery today, what would you do with it? What would you do with it? So write your answers in the chat. Right where I can see your hand is up. I think it's up by mistake. Great, I see those responses. I will invest in a business. I will invest in properties. I will invest in property. Phew, invest in real estate, Cleo. That's nice. So it looks like everyone is just going to be investing, investing, investing. Keep the responses coming. Chatenda, I'll split it with my family and plan a reunion for the whole family. Seja, after tithing, I would invest in properties and businesses for passive income. Great responses. Nesbet, investing. Kundai, investing in real estate, cluster homes and shopping malls. Chop some of it too. Now that's an honest response. Blantina, shopping spree first, then a holiday, then finally invest. I will invest in properties and education for my children. Properties, Runyararo, Emily, if I would win $1 million, I would need to think about the best way. My daughter is saying Bitcoins. Okay, Yuli, I will sit back and relax and be steady and really need to think about what to venture into. Very good response. And Chipo said property. So those are all great responses, all great responses. Um, but one thing that I've actually learned is that when people are saying that they want to be millionaires, what they're actually saying is they want to spend $1 million. So when people say I want to be a millionaire, it means I want to spend $1 million. But from what I'm getting in these responses, when you get $1 million, you want to invest. And when you invest, then you remain a millionaire because you still have. But when you spend all of it, that's the end of your millionaireship, right? So yes, thank you so much for those responses. So yeah, maybe we should just get ourselves started, and I will introduce myself yet again.
Yeah,
Um,
apology
so
for
I
joining a
will
bit
then
late,
ask
but
us to mute
therefore,
our mics so that we don't hear so many noises in the background. Yeah, but I was about to introduce myself, Nyaradzo Chauruva, and I am the face behind My Money Project, a financial initiative that turns 4 today. So I'm so grateful that all of you could join in just to celebrate with me and, to hear of where we are going forward. And I just want to introduce my co-host, Onena Shivute. Onena, can you turn on your camera so that people can see you? Yes, there, the lovely Onena Shivute, and I call her Nina. Very good friend of mine. And I think Nina has been there right from the beginning when this project started. And she is the one who gave me the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. So I can never thank her enough. So I appreciate her today and I appreciate you being here with me. So maybe I will just hand over to Nina to give us the ground rules and everything else that follows. So over to you, Nina.
All right, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. My name is Onena Shigute, as introduced, and I will be co-hosting this My Money Project 4th birthday anniversary. To get into the ground rules, this session is being recorded, so please take note of that. Kindly mute your mic so that we have a very clean audio as we are presenting. And then also to mention that the chat is open for you and to you to write your questions and share your contributions. We will be running a competition throughout the webinar. We have 3 prizes to be won. And I'm also going to caution you to stay till the very end of the session because we will be having a promotional item that will be shared for everyone valued at $30 US. Nyarado, I'm hearing echoes. Could you mute your side, please? Okay, so to get started, we are going to have okay, there's an echo. Okay, let me continue. We are going to have a little background of how My Money Project started. So it started 4 years ago. It was launched here in Namibia at the Avani Hotel in Windhoek with the support of the Ministry of Gender Equality. And it primarily targeted women at its inception. However, because the need for its services across the board for both male and female, it now caters to both. Since its inception, we've had seminars, we've had book launches. Nyarado's first book was launched with exclusive books here in Windhoek, and it sold out on the first day, actually, which made her a hot commodity, and she's been invited as guest speaker to several events. She has also appeared on Good Morning Namibia, Good Morning Zimbabwe, as well as KTV in Zimbabwe. So to kickstart the webinar, we are going to have 2 testimonies by women who have joined the journey with My Money Project since the very beginning, so that we can hear how that has impacted them. Before I call on them, I want to mention here again that the chat is open to you. And if you've been with us for a while, you can also share your testimonies in the chat as the webinar proceeds. I will now call on Dr. Difon to please come through and share her testimony. Dr. Difon? Dr. Difon, are you around?
Yeah, and then so maybe before she joins in, it would have been nice to get maybe people excited with some of the free gifts that we have, and maybe get the first question to the competition.
Yes. Okay, let's start this off with one gift. Okay, what I'll do is I will write a question in the chat, and the first person to respond to the question will walk away with one of Nyarado's books. And I'm posting the question shortly, so please everybody get ready in your chats. The question is posted, so I will be waiting to see who is the first responder. Oh, Sia, congratulations, Sia. You are officially the owner of a How Can My Money Be Enough book authored by yours truly, Nyarado. We will get your details and be able to get that book to you. Congratulations. All right, I think at this point, we can then have Dr. Difon come through with her testimony.
Hello. Hi. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Doc. How are you?
Loud and clear.
Wonderful. Wherever you are, can you just begin to clap for Nyarazo and her team? And greetings, wherever you are. Maybe it's midnight, I don't know, but I'm saying hi from the beautiful city of Windhoek. Thank you so much, Nyarazo, for counting me worthy, and a big congratulations as you celebrate your 4th anniversary. I want to quickly say that I never knew Nyerazo, but I don't know if she recalls. I saw the advert for the book, How Can My Money Be Enough? And I gave her a call. And that is how we met. We didn't just buy books. She came to my house from a phone call in a newspaper. We became friends, and I went to her house. I knew the whole family. She knew mine. And I read the book as a medical doctor, as if I was going to have an examination. I was very impressed. Now, this is my testimony. I have bought shares. I'm not as young as I look, for those who know me. I bought shares like some 20-something years ago in Nigeria, where I come from. Then there was a kind of lull for that 20 years. Now, when I read Nyerazo's book, it sort of woke up what has been sleeping. And I went back into buying shares from 10 Nigerian companies, 10, because of how Nyerazo wrote the book, encouraged people to save, to invest. And she knows. I kept on telling her that you don't know what you are doing. You're touching lives. You're changing the way people think. And as a medical doctor working with international NGO, I was earning well, but it looks like I wasn't investing. But how she wrote her book, so simple for anybody that is not in the accounting field to understand. That book challenged me to broaden my business interest and desires. I think I will leave it there for now. Thank you. Over.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ndifon. That was a beautiful testimony. And I hope you have all taken note that this book is written for the layman on the street. So even if you do not have financial knowledge, you can buy it and read it and understand it. All right, I think we will give an opportunity to Mrs. Masibango to come through with her testimony. Mrs. Masibango, please.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Yemurai Masibango. I'm officially from Zimbabwe, but I'm currently residing in South Africa for the past 14 years. I joined this money project through my sister Fazai Mayenga Hama, who is in Namibia, and I'm sure she's friends with Nyari, and they're both in the finance sector. And I joined this last year, almost last year, around this time, Money Project. It's almost a year, Nyari, when you texted a message and you said your sister Fazi said I should add you to the group. That's how I got to know about this, my Money Project. And I'm here to testify that the Money Project has changed my perception on how I have been handling money on a daily basis. For the past few months, I have learned a lot, and I've been able to get rid of bad habits. I had to shake off some bad habits that Nyari mentioned in one of her articles that she's been sending through WhatsApp. And I started saving. From saving very little, I started saving even much more. I can testify that for the past few months, I've been saving 10 times more than I've been saving for the past 2 years. I have managed to stop impulse buying because I would go to the shop and, you know, you want to go just to buy one or two things. The next thing you are coming out with paper bags, which was very unnecessary. So I stopped that. I'm a changed person, and I even started living below my means because I would consider buying things that were not necessary sometimes, or just saying for the love of things. So you'd end up being anxious about when is payday, but that thing has long gone. I am not anxious about paydays anymore because I'm living below my means. In fact, I've even gone to the cabin in the storeroom to get rid of things that were just sitting there, things that I could just sell to someone who is in need of those things. I was able to make petty cash out of that, and money that I could spend on other things that are very valuable. And I've managed to build an emergency fund, which has helped me to even lower my anxiety levels. And I'm so grateful for that. Because of Nyari's advice, I have changed on how I handle money matters. And my long-term goal is to invest in real property. This is my prayer, God willing. I am praying that one day I'll come here and testify that my dream actually came through. And since Nyari also sometimes she sends messages which are Bible related, I believe in the word that says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and everything else shall be ended unto you." Matthew 6 verse 33. I have been praying about how I need to change and to relate more to God and honor God with what I have. And I'm praying to improve even much better. So Nyarazo's passion, knowledge, and genuine interest in achieving the best for all of us in this project is what has really changed me. And it has been a really, she has been a really good professional advisor. And thank you so much, Nyarazo, for your dedication and in all advices that have been provided ever since I joined. I really appreciate. And I also like to thank my sister Fadzai Maenga Hama, who is in Namibia. She's the one who introduced me to this group, My Money Project, and I'm hoping very soon I will also invite many people to this platform, and very grateful for this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much for your testimony, Ms. Yamurai. And I want to touch on a few things that you mentioned there. The book does give you a step-by-step what you could do, where you are, with what you have, to push yourself or to move forward to where you want to go. And it says that if you are faithful with a few, you will be rewarded with the plenty. So please use the chat now to also share your testimonies in terms of whether My Money Project has touched you personally, or even just where you are financially and the type of help that you are looking for. In the meantime, I would like Nyarazo to please come through and just share some other notable achievements that she has made in the past 4 years. Nyarazo, over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nina. And really, thank you so much, guys, for the kind words. Yeah, I see it.
Sorry, Tawanda, kindly mute your mic, please.
I'm not sure if I'm able to.
Come, pick up your clothes.
Okay, I've
Tawanda,
managed to-
Marufu, please mute. Okay.
I've muted from this end. But yeah, no, thank you so much. Thank you for the kind words, Dr. Dufon and Yemu, and yeah, keep the sweet messages coming in the chat. But to answer your question, Nina, so I think what you've said is really what has been happening since inception. And this year I was just fortunate to have been nominated in the top 10 with the UNDP to participate in the Accelerate 2030 program. Of course, I then didn't make it to Geneva, but it was a worthwhile experience for me. I was also elected into the financial literacy technical working group of the Reserve Bank. So that for me, I think it's really an inspiring one, because I get to make contributions not only at individual level, but at a national level. So I'm really excited about that one. And maybe also to just mention that I finally registered a company, and it's called Personal Finance Lab. So I think those are some of the achievements I can say for, especially for this year, year 2023.
Congratulations, Nyerazo. You've registered this company. Could you please tell us what it is exactly?
You said
The Personal Finance Lab.
The Personal Finance Lab. So Personal Finance Lab, it is it's now a company. So it's a private limited company that I have registered here in Zimbabwe. And I have a short clip, a video clip that I want to share with the audience here. This video, it was more of a pitch, the pitch video that I did during my Accelerate 2030 program. So I'd love to share with the guys here, and then it also explains what Personal Finance Lab is all about. So please do let me know once you can see, and then I'll start playing the video.
Yeah, we can see it, Nyerazo.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, so
My name is Nyerazo Chauruva, the founder and CEO of Personal Finance Lab, also known as My Money Project. Personal Finance Lab is a financial education company that is dedicated to empowering women to manage their finances better. Having been an A student throughout my childhood, I accumulated a lot of educational certificates. I qualified as a CPA and climbed up my career ladder quite quickly. By the time I was 30 years old, I was a finance director of a thriving organization and managing millions of dollars. However, my own finances were in a mess. I was drowning in debt even though I was earning well. Qualifying for a loan sounded like a great achievement. Little did I know this would be the beginning of sleepless nights and stressful days for me. With no savings, I could only hope and pray that no emergency befalls me. And yet we all know that hope is not a financial strategy. I was a learned and yet financially illiterate woman. I felt so ashamed. Finally, I had my eureka moment. Financial education was the missing key to my financial freedom, but it was not part of the school curriculum. No wonder over 60% of Zimbabwe's adult population is financially literate and not saving at all. No wonder most women are not aware of some financial products in the market. After this realization, I made it my life's mission to reach out to the financially illiterate and especially women like myself, and that is how Personal Finance Lab came to be. This company has contributed to the Sustainable Development Goals 4 and 5 by promoting the participation of women in financial education programs. I have received testimonies from different women who now own productive assets and whose quality of life has changed after participating in our programs. Personal Finance Lab offers consulting services and trainings that can be personalized to customer needs. Having targeted individual clients the past 3 years, I believe it's time Personal Finance Lab scales and partners with corporate clients, including financial institutions, to reach more people. I'm currently the only team member and work with volunteers as and when needed. But the intention is to add more people to the team in the coming 6 months, starting with a core trainer and a finance and admin assistant. I believe that financial education is the key to empowering men and women to make sound financial decisions with their money. Personal Finance Lab is the solution, and my 2 requests are for you to support our work through connections that can promote our services and financial resources to support the development of our learning management system. Thank you.
Yes, so yeah, that was the story of Personal Finance Lab. So yeah, mainly to do with research. We're going to be venturing into research. Also, especially the employee wellness program. That is the one we really want to push going forward. So yeah, thank you, Nina. Back to you.
That was very beautiful, Nyerazo. And I like that you said personal finance is what empowers young men and women and older men and women to make valid financial decisions. So I liked that you have this in the video, and what I'll do is I will put the link to the video in the chat for all of the attendees this evening, and you're able to share it with other people as well. What I want to at this point say then is, Nyaradzo, you said in the video that the Personal Finance Lab requires some support. I want you to perhaps give us a quick snapshot of the Personal Finance Lab before I run through the support that is required again. But right now, I will send the link to the chat.
Okay. Thanks for that, Nina. So I would have probably shared the website, but the website is still under development. However, if anyone wants to check it out, it's www.personalfinancelab.org. Still a lot of work going on in there. As I mentioned, I really want to push it forward in terms of employee wellness, the employee wellness program. So I need to reach out to corporates, and that is the main support that I would need from all of you guys. If you can just link me up with connect me with the people that you know have need of these. You know, we have never been taught financial education from kindergarten, especially here in Zimbabwe. And so people start earning money and they do not know what to do with their money. So 10 years, 20 years down the line, a person has been earning, but there's really nothing to show for it. So we want to reach out to all these people and help others to understand, you know, how to manage their finances. I don't know whose mic is unmuted. Please mute your mics. So we oh, yeah. Can you please mute your mic? Let me see who it is. Okay, it's muted. So yeah, I think basically that's the big ask: connections and connections and connections. And also, as you had shown earlier, Nina, so maybe let me also just, I wanted to share my screen again, but maybe let me do that another time. But it was mainly to just say we have books, as you said. I know CJ has just won one. We have another book to give away and a t-shirt. So these books are for sale. We sell these books $10 at How Can My Money Be Enough, $15 for the Wealth Builders Toolkit, and $10 for the t-shirt. So you can actually support in that way. But I want to just show you
fine with it.
Good. What they look like.
Zombie's a good guy, okay?
Playing, if you can mute yourself, please. So I will share. Just let me know once you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Great. Okay, so this is the book, How Can My Money Be Enough? It goes for $10. This is the t-shirt. It goes for $10, and then we also have the Wealth Builders Toolkit, which goes for $15. But today, because My Money Project turns 4, all of these, you can get the 3 of them for $25. And the message that is on the t-shirt, I just had to put it here because I thought this is really a beautiful message to have on your t-shirt. These are just like financial freedom. And so these are just the tips: debt-free, and a scripture to support you living debt-free. Savings, a scripture again: set aside an emergency fund, and there's a scripture to support that. A good man leaves an inheritance, you know. So this is like a daily reminder, and now we are all for fitness, and I can imagine you running and wearing that. I normally run wearing mine. My husband also wears his even when he takes his walks. So I think that's the support that I would need for now, but mainly connections. Thank you. Back to you, Nina.
Thank you very much, Nyaradzo. And I wanted you to actually touch on the launch for the PFL that's coming next year. I think you did mention that the website is under construction, and we will also include that link in the chat for those of you who'd like to take a look at it. And like Nyarazo says, we are running a promotion. The promotion for all 3 items at $25 will be running for 24 hours. So it's from 8 p.m. tonight until 8 p.m. tomorrow night. There will be a payment link that'll be shared for you to be able to access that. And those of you who have alternative ways for payment, you can contact Nyarazo directly on WhatsApp, and she can give you individual guidance in terms of that. All right, I think because we've already shared the promotion, this is a good time for us to get into our second question. So get to your chat so that you can be the first to answer that question and walk away with a prize. I'm putting the question in the chat now. And the question is gone. I'm waiting for the first person to answer. Okay, we have Blandina. Blandina, congratulations. You are the winner of a t-shirt. Nyarazo has authored 2 books this far, not 3, 2. That is How Can My Money Be Enough and The Wealth Builders Toolkit. We will get your details and have that prize to you. All right, and then now, earlier this week, and not doctor, but Ms. Masibango mentioned this. Nyarazo sends out weekly messages, some active advice that you can take to help yourself along the financial freedom route. And earlier this week, you mentioned that there are 2 topics, Nyarazo, that whether you care for them or not, definitely affect your life. And that is money and health. Could you please share more on this? Over to you, Nyarazo.
Yes, thank you, Nana. And right there, I will just take us through to our presentation. This is the theme of today, money under control, and I am going to present it in slide form. Please confirm if you can see my slides before I start.
Yes, we can.
Great. Okay, let me just remove this one here. So yeah, money under control, money under control. I just want to show you this picture, this one, because when I saw it, I felt this speaks volumes. It speaks volumes of what your situation can be if money is not under control. We can see this lady, for lack of a better name or for not knowing her name, we will call her Rose. And so Rose, you can see, has already had 5 cups of coffee. Who knows how much more she has had? She looks very stressed. The emojis are also pointing out to the fact that she's really not happy. You can see her very stressed, very stressed. And that is how money can make us feel if we are not, if it is not under control. And yes, you're so right, Nina, that there are 2 things that, that we have to talk about, money and health. And if the money issues are not right, then the health issues are also affected. Likewise, if health issues are not addressed, money suffers in the process. So in this one, we want to talk now about how we can put our money under control. So how I have structured my presentation is just to say with the way, what is it that has caused Rose to be in this state? So I have 5 pitfalls that I'm going to take us through. So, and then each pitfall will be accompanied by a solution. And you may relate with one of the pitfalls. The main idea is for us to learn and to change or transform the way we think so that we may end up with our money under control. So here goes the first pitfall. So pitfall number 1, why Rose ended up in that situation is not having a budget or a spending plan. Some people do not want to hear the word budget, so I would then speak of the spending plan or a financial plan. If you do not have a budget, it makes it difficult to track your spending. It's difficult to track anything, most of us rely on mental accounting. And what I mean mental accounting or mental budgeting is when you just know that, oh, I have $100, so this is how I'm going to spend it. I'm going to spend it. While you're on your way to doing whatever it is you want to do, someone else, maybe Mrs. Tom, comes out crying, I need help with this and this. The next thing, it's gone. Or you meet your friends and they say, let's go out for a movie. Meanwhile, to start with, it was never meant to go to watch a movie. So relying on mental budgeting then also puts you in that situation. When you don't have a budget, you start wondering where your money is going. You start wondering, as though someone stole your money, you start wondering, where's your money going? And it leads to impulsive buying. I'm just echoing also the words of Himrai earlier on. But there is a solution. And the solution to that is to have a budget and to track your spending. So basically is to tell your money where to go instead of wondering where it all went. And I want to make reference to a scripture in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 2. To those who know it, it just tells us to write the vision down. It says, write the vision down and make it plain so that he who reads it can run with it, right? So that's the whole idea. Have a vision for your money. What do you want the money to do? Write it down. And I'm a strong advocate of the pen and paper. I know now there are apps and there's Excel, there are phones where you can put down your budget, but I would encourage people to use pen and paper to actually write down. There's something that happens when you use pen and paper. And I then also want to just briefly introduce you to the 50-30-20 rule, which is what I used when I started budgeting. Of course, eventually you can grow out of it, but it is the basic way to start. And there are several other budgeting methods, but this one I highly recommend. And I've tweaked it a little bit. So even if you then research or Google for it, you'll find I've tweaked something a little bit. What the 50-30-20 rule basically says is that 50% of your income should go towards your needs. And your needs are basically the things that you cannot live without. So we are looking at probably accommodation, we are looking at food, we are looking at transport, if you need transport to go to your place of work. These are all needs. And then we also have wants, which I have allocated 20%. Wants, these are the nice to haves. We spoke of movies, going for a movie, that you can allocate that 20%. We can talk of subscribing for DSTV. Nice to have, but you will not die if you don't have that. So these are, and it's very important to know the difference between needs and wants. Sometimes our needs are in another person's wants. For someone, a phone is a need. You cannot do without it. But for someone, it's just a want. Buying airtime, you can even survive the whole month without having to buy airtime or having a phone. So it's very important that you as an individual, you understand what your needs are and you know what your wants are. And then the 30% I allocated to your savings, to your giving, and to your debt repayment. And especially if you are in debt, make sure you also try to accelerate. And I'll talk about debt in the next slides. But this is the basic distribution of your income, no matter how much. And if you realize I did not speak of any value, so whatever amount of money you have, it may be $100 note, it may be $1,000. If you allocate it that way, it will help to avoid the situation that rose in. So moving on to pitfall number 2, living hand to mouth. Some people will call it living payday to payday, and some people may call it living from paycheck to paycheck. And this means that you spend all of your income each month with no money left over for savings or unexpected expenses, which are also called emergencies. So you finish all your money to the point that if anything happens, you are stuck. if the next payday is late, maybe you are used to getting paid on the 25th, and then the payroll people delay, and maybe the salary is going on the 27th, that 2-day gap will get you on your knees. You struggle, you know. So that is what we call living hand to mouth. So, and it means you have no buffer. You have no buffer between you and the next payday or the next time you get a salary or your income. So the solution to that is to spend after saving. So you have to learn to set aside money for saving. And I do encourage being a part of a savings club. And I'm so happy that some members of my savings club are here on this call today. So at least they can also testify I'm not talking things I don't do. But having savings, make it a mandatory expense on your budget. So the same way you write down you need to pay rent $200, you need to pay transport $50, make sure you put aside some money, right? If you can't think of anything to save for, but at least start with saving for emergencies. Emergencies are those things that just happen unexpectedly. I love the example of Joseph in the Bible. Joseph, if you remember, Joseph, who was sold into slavery to Egypt by his brothers. If you read Genesis 47, verse 26, it will tell you that in the good years, Joseph made it a law for the land of Egypt that 1/5, which is 20% of the harvest, would belong to the king. And this is what is still happening to this day. That's what the Bible says. So 20% would go to the king. And it's not like the king would be eating this money, but because after 7 years, there was a drought. So after 7 years of plenty, there was a time when there was a drought. And that's the same thing with us. When you have a job, when you can have an income every month, it means you are in your period of plenty. So in your period of plenty, learn to set aside something so that when the dry seasons, not that we want them, but life happens, so that when the dry seasons of life come through, we will not be stranded, start losing weight. In 2 weeks, the person has lost weight just because he has lost a job. And so for that, just to guide us to say, so if I'm to build an emergency fund, that's what you may be saying. Nyaradzo, if I'm to build an emergency fund, how much am I looking at? And again, what I would encourage you is to set aside 3 to 6 times of your living expenses. When I say I think 3 times if you have a job that gives you regular income, and 3 times of your living expenses, not 3 times your salary, but 3 times your living expenses. That is the expenses that you incur on a day-to-day basis for you to survive, right? No luxuries and things like that. And then if you do not have regular income, then we talk of 6 times, because you need a bigger buffer, for you never know when next you will have your income. And I want to then help you to clarify what it is we call an emergency. Because a wedding is not an emergency, a birthday is not an emergency, but emergency, we have 5 types, and I've written them there. A job loss, that's an emergency where you can dip into emergency fund. Unexpected medical expenses, unexpected home repairs, maybe there's a leak in the roof or the tap, those you can dip into your emergency fund. Unexpected car repairs and death in the family. So only those 5 things fall under the category of emergencies. Everything else, no, it's not. But if you still feel that, no, my money is really not enough, even after saving as much as you can and things like that, then you need to learn to increase your streams of income. If you read in the book of Ecclesiastes, you also hear the writer encouraging 7 to 8 streams of income. And maybe I can pause here and ask you this question, which you need to answer honestly with yourself. If I say, how many streams of income do you have? Besides your salary, where else does your money come from? And let it be a challenge to you that you increase your streams of income. So we move on. to pitfall number 3, which is overspending. So overspending is the act of spending more money than you have, or more than you planned, or more than you had agreed before, agreed with yourself or agreed with your spouse, depending on how you are supposed to be spending your money. And that calls for spending beyond your spending plan. That way we say you're overspending. So remember again the picture of Rose. In all of this, when I present the pitfall, just remember the situation that Rose is in. So she has overspent, and that is how she's ended up where she is. The solution is basically to control your spending. How do you do that? Stick to the plan. And we said it at the beginning, the plan is the budget. So learn to stick to the plan. Proverbs 21 verse 20, and this is the New Living Translation. I love it. It says, the wise have wealth and luxury, do you see, in their homes, but fools spend whatever they get. So that's why you find when people can manage their finances, they can afford to go on holiday. That's a luxury, you may say. They can afford to go on holiday. And sometimes we heard of these guys who drowned in a submarine, and we were very quick, like I was very quick to judge them again, to say, who would spend 250,000 to their death, you know? But to them, they have the wealth, so they can afford luxury. So that's how it is. When you are wise, you have wealth and luxury. But fools, they spend whatever they get. And so when they hear that people are going to Bahamas, they're like, they are wasting money. Why? Because they can't even afford it as well. So control your spending. Stick to the plan. If you spend money on things, I need not say this, you will end up with the things and not the money. And I think I shared this just this evening, that if you spend money on things, you will surely end up with the things, but you will run out of the money. And that's what we were saying when we started with the question on if you won $1 million. And we said, if you spend it, like I think someone said, I'll go on a shopping spree. The moment you go on the shopping spree, you are spending and you end up with things and not the money. So at that point, you are no longer a millionaire. But yeah, exciting lessons. Also think of the prodigal son. For me, this is one story. It's a parable that was told by Jesus of the son who squandered his wealth in wild living. So you can imagine how he lived his money when he got this lump sum. He was out there drinking and partying and maybe with different women up until this wealth ran out, you see. So we need to learn to control our spending and to stick to the plan. Pitfall number 4, over-reliance on credit. And normally this is a result of overspending. When you overspend or when you live beyond your means, it means you're going to borrow. You're going to ask from alternative sources. If you read the book that I wrote, How Can My Money Be Enough? You will see how I ended up in debt because I would be told that you qualify for a loan. The bank would come and say, Mrs. Chaurua, you qualify for a $12,000 loan. And at that point, you feel like, wow, I have made it. You know, I'm actually recognized. But as I'm saying, the qualifying for a loan is not an achievement. And we need to know better how to manage to live within our means to avoid borrowing, and especially borrowing for consumption. And when we talk borrowing for consumption, we are saying you are borrowing for food, you are borrowing to buy clothes, you are borrowing for things that do not last not even a year. So we need to be very careful, and solution is to live within your means. Credit can be a useful tool, but it's important to use it responsibly. And remember to pay off the balance each month or at the shortest possible time. Taking you back to the 50-30-20 rule, when you're in debt, part of that 30% should go to fast track repayment of your debt. And quickly, I also want to point out the story in 2 Kings 4 verse 3, which is on borrowing. The widow was encouraged to borrow for what she was about to do, for more oil. This was not borrowing for consumption, but she was borrowing jars. So the prophet says, borrow from your friends and from your neighbors, borrow as much as you can. But I'm sure she then also returned these things. So if you borrow, be quick to pay back for your peace of mind and to avoid high interest. And lastly, pitfall number 5, not saving for future expenses. And this is probably one thing that was driving Rose crazy. We know right from the time we start working, we know that we are going to get married, that we're going to have children, the children are going to go to university, they're going to get married. We know that at some point in our lives, we will not be as active as we are now. We will probably be old, and so we will retire. Some people do not intend to retire, like I don't intend to retire, but I know that I will be weaker. And so at that point, I will need to have saved something to help me through those years. I would need to save money for my children because in a few years' time, they'll be going to university. I don't want to start borrowing again from the bank, borrowing from. I need to be conscious, deliberate about my efforts to invest. So a lot of you talked of investing, and really that was something. So not saving for future expenses. It is important to start saving for these as early as possible. So if you couldn't start when you started working, now is the next best time. Yeah. So solution, invest for the long term, invest in long-term assets. And that's where the book, the Wealth Builders Toolkit comes in, because it is for the first time in investor, the person who has no clue what a share is. We heard Dr. Ndifon talking of shares. Maybe someone doesn't even know what a share is. How does it work? How do I invest in there? And that is what the Wealth Builders Toolkit is all about. And I wanted there to put them into context, because in Zimbabwe, we've, once bitten, twice shy. People are quite reluctant on investing, even in money markets or things like that, because tomorrow you wake up, your money is gone. But really also to encourage that we need to invest in real estate. A couple of us did mention that, because that is long term, and you know that it will appreciate in value. A friend of mine encouraged me to also invest in trees. Planting trees. If you have a piece of land, plant trees, because trees, they will mature, some after 25 years. And who knows, maybe 25 years is also the time that you retire, and you will have a steady flow of income through the fruits or through selling the wood. Yeah, and then we can also talk of offshore investments. And on these, you would need to seek the advice of a financial advisor. I am not a financial advisor. I am an educator. I'm a teacher, as my daughter would say, the teacher of money. But there are people who are qualified to give financial advice, and I would encourage you to do that. And also just to live according to the principles of the Bible, that a good man leaves an inheritance for his grandchildren. What have you left for your grandchild? I know most of us have unborn grandchildren, but what will you leave for that unborn grandchild? It will be a sin to die without anything, right? So in conclusion, I just want to say, don't let money run your life, but let money help you run your life better. These are the words of John Rampton. Don't let money run your life, but let money help you to run your life better. And this is the picture. I think this is now Rose after putting all her money under control. And this is what we will also feel just looking at the sunset, amazing things, looking at the color of the flowers. So thank you so much. This is the end of my presentation. Please get in touch with me on those numbers on WhatsApp if you want to be receiving weekly articles that Yemrai was also talking about. I do send them out every week. So if you're not yet part of my broadcast, please do reach out to me and I'll gladly add you onto that. Thank you. Over to you, Nena.
Thank you, Nyerazo. That was so beautiful. And you mentioned so many valuable things in that presentation. It's sad that I can't cover it all, but what I did take from that is the best next, no, now is the next best time if you haven't done that in the past. Now. And then also to let the audience know that this session is being recorded. The recording will be shared with you, and you will be able to get all of those nuggets again from Nyerazo's presentation. I want to also congratulate you all for attending, because this does not mean that you've fallen into the pitfalls that were mentioned, but that you recognize that you want to improve your financial situation, no matter how good it is. We don't know what we don't know, and at any corner, there's an opportunity to learn. Okay, I want to put the third question in the chat now so that we have the third person win that prize. So I am going to go to the chat now. Please get ready to respond to this question. And the first responder of this question will be walking away with the Wealth Builders Toolkit. And I have loaded the question. I'm waiting for the first responder. Waiting. Cleopatra, congratulations. It is the Ministry of Gender. Well done. You are going to walk away with the Wealth Builders Toolkit. Many, many congratulations. And like I said, to all stay till the very, very end, because we have a complimentary gift. But before the complimentary gift, I want to reiterate that we are running a promotion for 24 hours in which you can get all 3 items, the 2 books, How Can My Money Be Enough, the Wealth Builders Toolkit, as well as the t-shirt with the financial advice on it for just $25 US. The promotion runs for 24 hours from 8 p.m. tonight till 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Right, so Nyerazo, shall I announce the promotional gift, or will you?
It's okay. I've just sent to you, Nina. I don't know if you'll be able to post that on the chat, because I'm failing to attach it on the chat, the free gift for everybody. But I think let me just talk briefly about it. So if you can in the meanwhile try to attach. So let me share it. It's a beautiful surprise, I believe, for all of us. I think you guys will love it, but let me show you just now what it is. Let me show you now what it is. Where is it? Oh, okay. I'm failing to so I see Dr. Ndifon, your hand is up. You want to say something?
Oh, yeah, thank you so much. I just wanted to let you know that I haven't been able to see any chat or questions. And I don't know if you can share any important information after the meeting.
Oh, really?
I'm not able to see the chat or participate, yes.
Oh, okay. I will send that. So I will also send to all of you here who are here today. But what I'm going to share in the chat is it's a financial planner for financial year 2024. So you guys are privileged. You're going to have there's a calendar, there is a budget template, there is a goal. So for you to put your money under control. It's going to help you to start putting your money under control.
Sure.
I'm not sure, Nina, if you've managed to post on the chat. If not, still, I'm just going to send to you guys. I will send it on WhatsApp, and then you can start working with it. So it's a printable, meaning you can print it out as and when you want. And yeah, unfortunately, I'm failing to attach on the chat, but I will send it out to you guys. So I think
yes, Nyerazo, I'm also not succeeding to attach it, but what we will do is just get in touch with everybody and then share that financial planner with them.
Yes. Yes.
And then I think, okay, so you have all seen the financial planner. I trust that you will definitely make it useful. We have come to the end of our webinar, and we want to thank you all for making time to be here. I will just hand over to Nyaradzo quickly to share a few personal thank yous, and then I can close off properly. Nyaradzo, over to you.
Right. Thank you so much, Nina. And I think before anything, I just want to thank you guys. I think for us to be right on time, my husband is sitting right in front of me, telling me it's enough, move on to the next thing. So I want to thank Tawanda for that. I want to thank all the people that have been with me on this journey right from the beginning. Really, I'm grateful and I'm thankful for all of you who have made it on this webinar today. I feel so encouraged to keep on doing this. I appreciate the feedback that you send on WhatsApp every time, on Facebook, sharing these articles on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and all these social media platforms. So keep the encouragement coming. I thrive on it. So thank you so much. And I think this brings us to the end. And again, I will send the PDF immediately after this. And if you don't get it, please just reach out to me and I will send it directly to you, okay? Otherwise, thank you and have yourselves a lovely evening. Goodbye.
Bye-bye, Nyari.
Bye.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye, Nina.
Okay, for those of you who are still online, please remember the section where we are wanting your support. Connect us to institutions, corporations, anyone that you feel will benefit from this information. Please share the links and the information with them too. Thank you and good night.
Good night, Nina.
Thank you.
Night, night. Bye, Nyari. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you for joining. Bye.